Hey guys, so welcome back. You know, if you missed out on the lottery for the BTS tickets in Busan for their concert coming up in a few weeks, well, the new move by HYBE Entertainment is actually kind of cool and actually kind of smart, and you don't even need to show up with a ticket if you want to experience the BTS concert live play. I'm going to give you more details on that. And we have an interview with the head of the Military Manpower Association, and we're going to go over what he currently is thinking about a potential military exemption for the BTS members, because we are really getting up on the deadline of Jin's birthday in December. All that coming up. Stay tuned. So earlier this month, if you were an Army member, you were allowed to go into a special lottery system to get tickets to the live concert in person at the new venue, the Asiad main stadium, and they gave out, I believe, around 50,000 seats. So there were questions of like, well, how many seats are they going to then give to the general public? Because originally they said they were going to do 50-50, and 50 seated, 50 standing. And what had happened was that the Asiad Stadium officially seats about 53 to 56,000 people, but you can expand it out, and I think as they've had as many as 80,000, but for some reason or some way that they're going to make happen, 100,000 people are going to be there. The tickets for the general public went out in this lottery system a couple days ago, and in 15 seconds, all the tickets got claimed. But people didn't even know that it was gone all in 15 seconds because the server crashed. So apparently there were 400,000 people on standby waiting to get into the app for you to be able to then get your free ticket. And it's not necessarily like a lottery system where all 400,000 people could have gotten a number and then they, roll a dice or something to get the remaining ticket holders chosen. It was just first come, first serve. It was back when we had to do that for vaccines in Korea. It was kind of going like this. And so those tickets are all gone. So most likely you've missed out on that. You probably missed out on the live play over at the Busan Port parking lot, which sounded really gross to me too. But HYBE, Big Hit, I believe they came up with a genius plan. Totally makes sense. Should have happened in the beginning. So they've added one more live play stage. So you're not going to be able to see the guys, but you'll be able to see them live on a huge screen, just as you would in that parking lot next to the port of Busan. But this is gonna be in a much cooler, better location, Haeundae Beach. It's like Korea's version of a mini Riviera south of France. If you look in one corner, it sort of does look like it, and you look in another corner, it looks like Miami. And so this beach is used to getting hundreds of thousands of visitors during the summer. If it's really packed, it could be 300,000 people. The most that it's ever held was 1 million people. It has its own police force apparently, and at least 300 police officers. There are bathroom facilities, but not too many. And right next to it though, or dotted along, are shops, restaurants, hotels, and other apartment buildings that probably going to do Airbnb to kind of make some money. So the cool thing is that if you get a hotel room with a view of the beach, you may not even have to physically go to the beach, although that might be fun too, but you can kind of maybe watch from your room. It's going to be telecast at the same exact time, 6 p.m., only going for 90 minutes. And the great thing about Haeundae is that people know how to get to it. It is still a bit like about 40 minutes from the train station, a little bit like around the same for the airport, but the facilities in terms of public transportation to just get to Haeundae Beach are so well established, and there's a total protocol, and there are so many ways for people to exit the beach, so it's not going to be a crazy situation with any kind of bottlenecks, and so they're not even going to require a ticket. It's almost as if like you're just gonna go visit the beach. They have a screen with the BTS concert, and of course some of the businesses and people nearby will get into the BTS spirit and have some sort of events or promotions. So that is pretty cool. So if you had booked your ticket and you were just wondering whether I should go to Korea or not, or if you're already here and you're just like, well, I don't know. Well, now if you didn't get the live ticket and you didn't get the ticket, thank goodness you probably didn't get the ticket in the parking lot, you can go to the beach now. It might be a little bit chilly on October 15th, but it most likely is gonna be a really fun time. Okay, so we saw this guy before. He's the head of South Korea's military manpower agency, and he recently did an interview. His name is Lee Ki-sik, and he is saying like, oh, we really need to focus on fairness, social consensus, because this is a socially conservative, controversial issue. Yeah, conservative in the sense that he doesn't want to lose his job. He's probably thinking like, like all these people are going to get mad at me. Although social consensus has already said that the majority of South Koreans are okay with some sort of military modification to BTS's service, whether it's a full-out exemption or if it's alternative service. Now, this is the pressure that this guy, I think, is under, and it sort of relates to, if you remember when I talked about Yoon Suk-yeol's, the president, his like 48-hour crazy policy of making little children start first grade before they can even like hold a spoon. And that is because of our population problem. Korea's population, yes, is in decline. And when we look at the future numbers, the number of 20-year-old South Korean males totaled 333,000 in 2020. But just 5 years from then, which is almost like, 3 years from now, it's going to fall to 226,000. And then by 2040, only 143,000 people. So we're looking at fewer and fewer and fewer males who are available to be thrown into the military. And if a lot of them continuously feel like this is an unfair situation and don't want to go, then we could see a very severe manpower shortage. And I think that is their underlying thing. So as much as we want to debate like whether they deserve it or not, whether they should fix the policy to include pop artists, in the back of their mind, you got to think like, what's really moving them? And what's really moving them is that they are scared that they're not going to have enough soldiers, and they think that this type of issue can rock the boat and affect their future as like, a military career person. And so I don't agree with him at all, but we have to see where he is coming from, because if you don't, then you're going to be arguing on a point that he doesn't care about. And obviously he doesn't care about the pop music. And he even said that like, yes, the BTS achievements, it's great, but with fine artists or sports teams, they win awards that are organized by judges or people or an association or an organization. So I think that's why one of you in the comments astutely noted, like, the Busan Expo is similar in that regard because there's a organizing committee behind it. You know, there's a group that they can throw the responsibility towards if they have to be forced to make that decision. This probably freaks him out. He's probably just saying like, oh, well, why do I have to make the decision? Or like, this looks like, you know, it's all going to come back to me. I don't want to do it. How selfish is that? But isn't that your job? Isn't that your job to basically handle the military manpower agency and update its rules? Because he said like, oh, well, you know, these Billboard charts and these, they're not reviewed by judges. However, the awards are. Hello, he conveniently left that out, I just realized, because if you win an award, that's a committee. What you talking about? That's a committee. That's a group of people. And so I think, this is lacking. Nobody from the Grammys came, you know, and had some drinks with him and, you know, talk to them about it. So Grammy people, if you're watching, or any kind of like music association you're watching, you know, you gotta bring some special treats for these guys, and suddenly they're gonna have, wow, like a different mindset. All of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh, I had no idea. And you know, that's how it works. And so this is really a bit, I think, lazy also on his part, because he keeps saying like, we need social consensus. This is a very controversial issue, and he doesn't want young men to feel a sense of discrimination and frustration. But what about all the other people that are getting exempted already, who are not sports stars and who are not fine artists? Apparently, many of you have been saying about 10,000 guys get exempted every year. I'm sure some of it's like for medical reasons, but a lot of other, you know, ways to slide through. So we're focusing again on the wrong people. The reason why we don't know about those other people, they're very well-connected kids. And so we are making them the scapegoat once again. We're making BTS the scapegoat once again. Well, 10,000 other people get exempted, and I don't think a lot of them have won these competitions, because remember, we went over at least the music competitions. There's only like 20, 30 music competitions at most, and you have to win it. So that's not a lot of people. Where are all these thousands of other people coming from? And so again, he's kind of like misdirecting us and then just trying to wait out the time clock. So I think that we need to put some pressure on this dude, because it makes no sense for him to not do his job. And also, yes, every guy is gonna feel discrimination and they're gonna feel frustration, especially with all the stories that we've heard of the experience inside the military. But where is the roadmap for a system where it's not going to be compulsory, or it's going to be less discriminatory or less frustrating? If you come up with a plan that makes either the compulsory service more appealing, or make a pledge and a plan that you're going to eventually make it non-compulsory, then you're doing your job. What are you doing? You almost have it way too easy. What other organization or company is guaranteed a number of employees to just walk through the door, be forced into jobs that you choose, you tell them what to do, you tell them when to eat, and we tell them when to sleep? Sounds like a slave, right? And barely even pays them. Definitely sounds like a slave. So yeah, slavery is really easy when it's practically free, and that's probably why you are not doing anything to innovate this influx process and the outflow process, because I hear from a lot of guys here that they didn't really like it. And they kind of make something of it to make it seem like less of a waste of their life. But yeah, people are frustrated about it. And so what are you doing besides, like, you know, playing lip service and then trying to blame BTS and pit young men against BTS so that they fight instead of, you know, really fighting you, because you're the one who's supposed to make good policies. So do your job. Do your job. Otherwise, I don't know what could happen. I think y'all should talk about it on the beach in Haeundae when you go. So how many are you guys gonna go to the beach? You know, tell me in the comments below if you're gonna go. Should I go? I don't know. I don't know if I really want to go. But it sounds like this is the most appealing. Like, out of all the developments we've seen with this concert, like the fact that there's going to be a live play on the beach in Haeundae where it's accessible and people know, that makes it ultra appealing, and I could maybe be convinced to go. All right, guys. Well, make sure you leave your comments below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.